Good morning, everybody. Good morning from Command Central. We're getting ready to launch a rocket ship here. Ha! At least it looks that way. Happy Monday, everybody. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good to see you all. Good to see you all, my friends. Wow, the chat's running like crazy. How many people we got in here already? We have 58 people. Wow. I'm glad you had an easier time getting out of bed. I slept in till almost 6:45 this morning, and welcome. It's been a rush getting it set up, but welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch, everybody, and drink it. Drink it if you got it. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. Wow, I need to settle down. I had to make sure my microphone was turned on. I had to make sure my computer here was charging, and at the last minute I noticed it wasn't. And it would have run out of battery about 30 minutes into this show. And I scrambled around and found out that the little plug into the power brick head wasn't in all the way. It's always something. Anyway, it's a great Monday morning. It's a little overcast here. It's raining a little bit. It's supposed to be a rainy day. I hope we don't get too much of that today. Although this time of year we can always use the rain. It's normally a little dry. Laurie says sound, exclamation point. Yes. At first glance I would take that to mean no sound. But I think it's working. If it's not working, I'm sure the chat would be full of it. I haven't seen Ellen this morning, and I hope she's all right. Maybe she slept in like I did. Yesterday, it caught up with me. I had been running a sleep deficit for quite a while, and it caught up with me last evening. I mean, I couldn't keep my eyes open. Got to be about 9 o'clock, and I finally said, I'm going to bed. I need some sleep, and I slept through until about 6:45 this morning. 6:45. I never sleep past 5:30. So obviously I must have needed it. Again, trying to take my cues from my body. So we got our coffee, and I have a few notes here that I made, and let's go over them. Then I'll start saying hello to people. There they are. As always, if you have a question for me, put it in the chat. Capital Q, Q, Q. I've been doing pretty good. I've been managing to get through them all and missing very little. So we'll hope that continues this morning. Hope we don't get too big a downpour here, because it will get noisy. There's a metal roof on top of this sunroom of mine, and gets pretty noisy. Hopefully this microphone can filter out most of that, and we can keep going. The good news is it doesn't leak. So at least I'll stay dry. It is 70 something degrees. It's t-shirt weather here, and that's great. If you don't have one of these already, you know where to get it. Links in the description. It's fun. Also, let me get this out of the way real quick here while I'm talking about coffee. I'm going to put the link to my Buy Me a Coffee in the chat. And you all know how much I appreciate that. If you like these things, and if you think I'm doing some good here and you want to say thank you, that's a great way to say thank you. So there is the link to that. And what reminded me of that is that Ketra has bought me a coffee this morning. And she says, thanks for all your help. Ketra, my pleasure. My pleasure. And also, Donna Towles at Coffee Clutch Carnivore. That was who said it. Good morning, Mitch. And this came in earlier this morning. I don't know what time, it doesn't say here. Good morning, Mitch. Thank you for all your inspiration. Happy holiday and cheers. Thank you so much, guys. What a great way. What a great way to start out the day with people saying thank you to you. So, one other thing I wanted to show you is my buddy Cliff Medina. In the midst of all this drone furor that has dominated the news, has sent me a picture and basically solved the entire problem and explains the entire mystery. Government can't figure it out. Newscasters can't figure it out. Nobody can, but Cliff figured it out and sent me this picture. And that's it. It's McDonald's. McDonald's is delivering food by drones. That's it. That's got to be it. That's got to be it. Thank you, Cliff. Thank you, Cliff. You're a smart guy. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, Cliff. I'm so glad to see somebody's thinking. And that's my drone hysteria news report of the morning. It is getting out of hand, but I think people are beginning. There's no panic. There's no panic. They're trying to make us panic. Somebody has got a psychological a psyop going somewhere to scare the public so that they will be open to more government intervention to keep them safe, maybe take a few freedoms away. But this is how psyops work. They have the news media. They have everybody in cahoots with them. Big tech and all. And they promote these panics. They got away with it in 2000 with the pandemic. I don't think they're going to get away with it with this drone nonsense. But it just goes to show you how we're manipulated virtually every day, and lose more and more of our freedoms because we panic and we turn to the government to protect us. Meanwhile, more and more people at least are saying that most of these drones, and here comes the rain, so I hope this isn't too noisy. More and more of these people are saying they're airplanes, stupid. Most of them are airplanes. And those of us who are in the drone community are basically laughing our ass off at how easily people can be punked by pranksters who have drones, and there's a lot of them, who take them out. They did catch and fine one drone guy for flying too close to an Air Force base. Oh, great. Aliens? They're trying to get us to believe it's aliens? Give me a break. Give me a break. Anyway, that's the latest drone news. I was watching TV this morning. And let me thank your mom. Your mom, thank you so much. $4 little super sticker with a little guy drinking a cup of coffee on it. Very appropriate. Thank you so much. Always appreciate that. And when it comes up in my chat here, I'll flash it on the screen to show everybody. I'm watching the news this morning, and for some reason today it's all about Advent Health. Advent Health, brought to you by your friendly Seventh-day Adventists, pushing their vegan and vegetarian lifestyle. Excuse me a second. And so they had the TV doctor on, a female one this time. That was unusual. And they were talking about ways that you could survive the holidays. That was the theme of their thing, survive the holidays. And to her credit, this doctor basically said, if you're going to eat a heavy meal, do it as early in the day as you can. And basically don't eat if you're not hungry. So that was, I fell out of my chair. I said, holy cow. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. But it turns out that Advent Health was the sponsor of the whole segment, and they ran some commercials during it, and they are advertising their hospitals heavily these days, trying to drum up business. Now, if you listen to people, you'd hear them say, oh, the hospitals are too crowded, we can't handle all the business. Why in the hell, if that's true, is Advent Health spending a fortune advertising their emergency rooms? That's what they were advertising this morning. I don't know. One of two things. I don't think they need the business. Their emergency rooms are never empty. Is this another way, just like the drug advertisements, that they can filter money to the news media so that the news media will not say anything derogatory about the healthcare system or the pharmaceutical businesses for fear of losing their biggest advertising customers? That's what I think. I think, and even though it's not criminal, in my opinion, it's a form of money laundering. They spend a fortune with these big media companies, and it's only the big media companies. It's Fox and CNN and NBC and ABC. They filter so much money to these companies that the news media is owned by the medical establishment, big food and the drug companies. And when you see an advertisement of theirs on TV, just always keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, that they're opinionated. And one other thing this morning I wanted to point out to you, which I thought was really, really interesting. I saw a headline today, and let me show you some of these headlines that I'm seeing. Actually, let me show it to you on the screen, because I have Command Central out here now. I can do this stuff. The headline up here says, coffee may help prolong lifespan by almost 2 years on average. And I said, yes, I was right. You see, I knew it. I knew that this coffee thing that I'm doing here in the morning was a good thing, and it'll help people extend their lifespan by 2 years. Now, most people, when they hear something that they want to hear, they say, I knew it, that's right, that's correct, and they don't look into it any further. They get their information, like most people do, from a headline. But not me. I said, well, that's great, but let me see what they're talking about. So I clicked on it. Coffee may help. Okay, here we go. And I'm not saying this is anti-coffee, but I'm saying something is fishy with this news article, as is fishy with virtually every health headline that we hear anywhere these days. This is from a publication called Medical News Today. Coffee may help prolong life. May help. It doesn't say coffee prolongs lifespan. It says may help. Well, it may not help. So that doesn't tell me anything. And they have a picture of coffee. And it says coffee is perhaps the most popular beverage in the world, with an estimated 2 billion cups consumed. Over the years, there have been many studies discussing the potential positive and negative healths of coffee. So far, true. A new review study from researchers at the University of Coimbra. The hell is that? Here's the kicker, folks. Here's the kicker. All you got to do is look. And funded by the Institute for Scientific Information on Coffee. There's the key. Who paid for this study? The Institute for Scientific Information on Coffee. Who do you think? Who do you think they are? Who do you think they are? Here you go. The review was funded by the Institute for Scientific Information on Coffee, the collective non-profit organization set up by companies from the coffee industry, including Illy Cafe, JDE Peet's, Lavazza, Nestle, Pollock, and Chibo. Do you think they would put out a study that says coffee shortens your life by 2 years? So from a very happy, yes, coffee is great, drink more coffee, I went to, oh. So that does not answer the question in any way whether coffee is good or bad for you. And we're right back to a divide of whose agenda is pushing what story. I show you that this morning. Not to focus on coffee so much, but to show you, simply do not believe any studies until you know who funded them. Because the agenda is always glaring, and this is just proof positive. Now, I will credit the author of this and give some credibility to the Medical News Today publication, because it didn't take them very long in the story for me to get to the point where I found out who funded it. A fact that you don't normally ever get to by anybody reporting these sensational headlines. In that respect, thank you, Medical News Today, because it didn't take me long to get the information I needed without having to read 600 pages of some report about the methods used in the study. And way down somewhere at the bottom of that 600-page report is probably a disclaimer saying, oh yeah, the coffee industry paid for this, so never mind. Anyway, that, I thought, would be something great to point out to you this morning, because it is something we all fall for. Now, the studies that I pay attention to are the studies, and there's damn few of them, that are conducted by independent people with no skin in the game. And guys like, and they're usually smaller studies, and nobody wants to fund these things because there's no money to be made from the results. So you got guys like Dave Feldman and Nick Norwitz and the Citizen Science Foundation, and donations from you guys through GoFundMes and things like that to fund these studies like the lean mass hyperresponders. Studies like that are few and far between, but they're pretty much the only actual studies that I put any credence to. I do put some credibility to meta-analysis, where they take the results of hundreds of studies, throw all the data together, and try to draw conclusions. There are studies like that that have been done by non-agendized organizations and people that do tell us things. That's where I first learned that higher cholesterol is actually good for you. And that's the study that I have, that the meta-analysis that tells me that it's exactly 180 degrees wrong from the advice that they give. So at any rate, there's a little information for you this morning. Let me make sure I'm live. I could imagine I'm live. Yes, I'm live, of course. And over on Rumble, let me check in over there and see what's going on. And yes, I am live on Rumble, over in the Rumble chat. Mike Seeley Sr., always the first one in. Good to see you, Mike. Ketra, thank you for the coffees. Thank you. Keats there. Morning, Mitch. Weather here just a little cooler, 34 degrees. Rod Weeder's there. No Slow is there. And Sprack 50. Is that a 6 or an 8? It's a 6. It's in dark purple. Very hard to read. Good morning. Carnivore Mafia. Eat meat, live well and healthy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And let me quickly get to the saying good morning to people. Don't forget QQQ in the chat, capital Q's, and I will more than likely, because I don't see a lot of QQQs in glancing over at that screen there. All right, we had first one in, no surprise, Papa Carnivore last night at 10:30, followed by Jerry Graham. Hiya, Jerry. How you doing? Good to see you. And the Feral Grandma chimed in, and we are at after midnight. Lady June is here. Lucy Auerbach chimed in. And what time, Lucy? At 2:36 a.m. said good morning. It wouldn't be an early morning without Tuukka, 30am Carnivore from Finland. Good to see you. About 3-something in the morning. Of course, it's later over there for him. He's not up in the middle of the night. Steve Studley chimed in at 4, a little after 4 p.m. Hot dogs are more nutritious than carrots. Prove me wrong. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Donita Tess is here. Good to see you. And Wayne Herman from Lake Gaston, North Carolina. Good to see you. Now we're in the early morning. Gina Cav is here. Good to see you. And Tanya Kitchen Witch, patiently waiting. And that was at 7 o'clock. Yeah, I was just climbing out of bed. Can't believe it. I haven't slept till 7 or quarter to 7, and I can't even remember the last time. Can't remember the last time. Maybe I need a little more coffee this morning. This is my first cup of caffeinated coffee, however. It may take a little while to kick in. Marla Kelly's here. How you doing, Marla? Good to see you. And Mike Seeley from Tampa. Hi, Mike. How you doing? Bob Valagorski. Good morning, OG. I guess I'm an OG. I think that OG originally meant original gangster. Yeah, I guess so. Couch Potatoes here. Good morning to you. And Mike Seeley chimed in again to say the good morning, even though he had said hello last night. Rick from Miami's here. Charger Mopar. Good to see you. Good to see Mark Booze here. Good to see you. And Cliff Medina, the discoverer of the real cause of all of those drones. It was McDonald's after all. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thunk it? Huh? Peter chimed in and said, good morning, Smoothie. 42, how you doing? Good to see you. And here we have Jerry Hall. Jerry Hall, how you doing? I think everybody's got their coffee. Everybody's got their coffee perking. And Terry Sue is here, says good morning. Hiya, Terry. Richard Williams from Copper Hill, Tennessee. Bryce Hatch is here. Hiya, Bryce. Good to see you. Bryce is from sunny Arizona. And I'm usually from sunny Florida, but today, not so sunny. Not so sunny. But Terry Sue is also experiencing drizzle in Northern California. I don't feel so bad. Hi, Wanda. Wanda Girling's here with us, and we are I still haven't made it to 8:30 yet. These are all people that chimed in early. And we got what a great community. I keep commenting about it. You guys just, as soon as this thing goes up, you start chatting with your friends, and that's so great to see. So great to see. And Terry said, it's a mystery every morning about our Ellen. Will she be here, or will Mitch be winging it? No one knows. Well, Mitch didn't know either. Mitch didn't know. I give Ellen tremendous autonomy. I appreciate what she does. She doesn't owe me anything. She helps me out, and I know she's okay because I got an email from her last night. But she knows that I accept whether she's here, she's here. If she can't, she can't. If she can just be in the chat, she's got a busy life now. She's got a lot of things she's doing. I'm sure she's busy with the holidays. I hope she's okay. I'm sure she is. And she's, always happy to have her here. And if she isn't, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine because we're not paying Ellen. And I hope many of you can appreciate the amount of dedication it takes to do a particular thing every day, 7 days a week at a particular time, and how much of your day or your morning it actually takes up. And I wouldn't dare ask anybody to help out if they didn't know that it was totally up to them when or if they could come in and help out. So, Ellen, if you're listening, maybe you were tired and overslept too. Aunt B is here. How you doing, Aunt B? And we're still not to 8:30. I want to get down to 8:30. Then I'm going to start looking for questions or say hi to people that came in just after we actually started. Steve Studley's here. And the rest of these people earlier in the morning were... Tanya says, Mitch without Ellen is like drinking your coffee black. Still great. But who doesn't love butter? Exactly. 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 I even chimed in here this morning and said good morning. Oh, let's see. Maciel Ordonez, which is really Don Lee. Hiya, Don. How you doing this morning? Good to see you. Boyd Lamb chimed in. Hiya, Boyd. And am I up to 8:30 yet? No. Greg Smith. Hi, Greg, from out there somewhere on the road. Be safe, man. Be safe. Granny Boo chimed in, too. And there's Ketra Naylor. Good morning, all, from Godfrey, Illinois, 34 degrees. Ketra, thank you so much for being here and for the coffee. Let's see here. Let's see. Mark Booz, I think I said hi to you. Life After Carbs. Chris is here. Hi, Chris. How you doing? Tom from Tampa's here. Good to see you. Aaron, Booby Goats is here. Hi, Booby. It's warmed up a little bit up there. It's 52 degrees in Tennessee. Sybil V or 5. Sybil 5 or Sybil V. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Granny Boo chimed in. 67 degrees. Wow, in Oklahoma, you guys are almost as warm as it is here in Florida. Edward Renner from San Diego. How you doing? How you doing? How are you? And who is this? Your mom. Your mom, thank you for the coffee. Good morning, Meaty, she says. Good to see you here this morning. Great to see you here this morning. And we are at 8:28 in the chat. So, God, I still haven't gone live yet. 8:29, chatting away. 8:30. Yes, first one at 8:30. Yay, here we go, Terry Sue, right there at the beginning. I start the countdown 30 seconds early, and I try to actually go live right on the money. I think I was 3 seconds late this morning because I was running around like crazy trying to figure out why my computer wasn't getting the power it was supposed to at the last minute. Danny in Boston, good morning. Good morning, and Tina Schweikerath checked in. How you doing, Tina? David Kane is here. Hiya, David. I made a 14 pot of half calf. 14 cup pot. Holy cow. Got 4 cups out of it. Yeah, I know. They get 10 cup coffee maker. You get they consider a cup 6 ounces or something absurd like that. Once again, always pay attention to the serving size, which may be the most important thing on a nutrition label or an appliance. The serving size, when they talk about how many servings or how many calories or carbs per serving. And let's see here. Steve Rogers, I have to get a sound effect for Steve. A little fanfare that I can play on my soundboard here. But that's my attempt at a fanfare. Captain America, Steve Rogers, good morning from Kansas City, Missouri. How you doing, Steve? Always good to see you, my friend. Sigrid Toms. I don't recognize that name. Anyway, if you're new here, welcome. If I missed you before, sorry, I won't miss you again. Good to see you. Good to see you. Gary Williams is here. Another sunny day. Not here, my friend, but I welcome these. I don't have the sun shining right in my eyes this morning. It's a pleasure. In fact, I actually this morning had to set up a fill light over there to light this side of my face. It's usually in the bright sunlight, I can put a light over there and you never notice it. But today it's working. Look how evenly, nicely lit I am. Professional show business, my friends. Professional show business. Maria, Sarah, how you doing? And who is this? This is your mom again saying good morning to people. And Peter's here saying hi to everybody. Good to see you, Peter. Good to see you. And P.O. Hendrickson, how you doing? Good to see you this morning. And I think I'm getting down to the point where I've said hi to just about everybody. MotoJ81, how you doing? James Ballou is here. Good to see you from San Fernando Valley. A question? Yes, we have a question from your mom. Okay, it only took us till 9 o'clock to get to the first one, but I've been chatty. I've been very, very chatty today. In fact, I've been too chatty, my friends. So we'll leave the suspense. Oh, that's a question that I can answer real quick. Since I'm new here, I've been trying to catch up on old videos. Do you get all questions from the old videos or only on morning chats? If you make a comment on an old video, it shows up in my feed. And I do read every comment that comes in on my feed from any old video or anything that anybody comments on YouTube. So the answer to your question is, if you watch an old video and have a question, in the comments on that video, ask your question. There's great odds that I'll see it, and I will answer it as a reply to that comment. I try to be diligent about that. In the alternative, if you think it's a very important question and you want to make sure that I don't miss it, put it in an email to me. And in the email, just tell me which video you were watching so that I have some point of reference for this. And I don't ignore emails. And half the time when I get an email, if I'm not in the middle of something, I just bang out an answer to it right then and there. People are so surprised. I get replies back from you. Wow, thank you so much for answering this email. Nobody ever answers my emails on YouTube. And you replied in 30 seconds. I can't believe it. And they go off on thanking me so much. I try to treat everybody with respect, value your time. And if you go to the effort to send me an email, rest assured, I get it. I do not have the notifications on my phone turned off for my OldGuyCarnivore emails. They will notify me. I might not be able to deal with them right then. Some of them I get are just say, hey, Mitch, check out this particular article or check out this YouTube video. And usually I can't do it right then. I can't take time out and watch an hour and 45-minute video. But I try to always at least say thanks, or I'll check it out, or something. And I may not ever get a chance to check it out, but at least I want to acknowledge the fact that you were trying to help me out or show me something interesting. Doesn't mean I want email pen pals with whom I have to have conversations all day. I don't text either for that reason. But I don't have the time for that. I don't stop. This little channel keeps me busy pretty much all day, every day. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I'm going to throw my coffee link back up there because somebody's got to do that. It may as well be me. And let me take a quick check to see if somebody has bought me any more coffees. I see that the last one was Ketra. Thank you so much. And Donit, D-O-N-I-T-A-T, Donna Tess bought me one. Thank you so much, guys. Always appreciate that. All right. Thank you, your mom. Thank you, your mom, for that question. And I'm continuing to look for QQQs now. But something is amiss here. Something is missing, my friends. Oh no, how did I let it get this far? Sometimes I'm simply not paying enough attention. Excuse me. While I light my cigar. Enjoy the happy music. Dance around a little bit. Almost 150 people here. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. Always incredible. Great to see you guys. Always appreciate you coming to spend your morning having a little coffee with me. Okay. And out it goes. Yes. Perfect timing, professional show business, my friends. All right, back to the chat. Back to the chat. If any of you don't think that this every morning, and the reason I do it 7 days a week, is that this is not the highlight of my day and the most fun, believe it or not, that I have in the course of a day, you better think again. I just have a ball here doing this. And I've been doing it for how long? A month and a half, 2 months? I haven't missed a morning, and I got to tell you, it just, I might wake up with some heavy things on my mind, but I get to this, and it just, what a great way to start the day. And I wish everybody in life finds something that is so gratifying as doing this little thing in the morning with my friends. I hope you all find that too at one point. And if I stop doing it, you'll know it stopped being fun. That's the main reason I do this, is it really is a ball for me. And I'm looking through the chat. I'm looking for somebody I haven't said hi to. Ribeye Susie, how you doing? Good to see you this morning. Looking for QQQs. I am only 30 minutes behind at this point in the chat. But I've gotten to the point where your mom's super sticker came up. Thank you so much. And I just heard my phone go ding, and let's see what it was. Somebody, Agent, holy cow, Agent 87 bought me 5 coffees. That's so very generous of you, my friend. Thank you so much, Agent 87. The message was Merry Christmas, and right back at you. Thank you so much. Always appreciate it. And thank you, your mom. Thank you so much for that. Oh, man. Oh, that's great. That is great. William McCartney says, that picture that I showed, let me show it again. It's worth it. Holy cow. Hang on a second. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. There it is right there. He says, was that a picture of Chris Christie? It might very well have been. I mean, it looks like him, doesn't it? And where would you most likely find Chris Christie other than stuffing his face somewhere? Oh, unbelievable. That was funny. Thank you, William. I got to tell you, my group here has the greatest sense of humor. You guys crack me up. You guys, you really do. You really do. Cliff says it's raining where he is, and I need to run quick through the chat here. I did see a question come in. Aunt B's got a question. Okay, Aunt B. It's an explanation of the drones on YouTube. Yes, it is, Aunt B. It is. It is, Aunt B. They are delivering McDonald's to people, and that's what they want to do, all these companies. And this is what's at the heart of all this, a lot of this, I think. And it's at the heart of what they've done to the drone hobby with all their new regulations requiring licensing, requiring drone pilots to take tests, changing the airspace regulations. I had to, in order to use a drone in my YouTube videos, I had to actually go get a commercial drone pilot's license from the FAA, just like I had to get a commercial pilot's license to fly airplanes that I flew all my life. They didn't used to be that way. As a matter of fact, interestingly enough, I'll tell you this one little fact. If any of you heard of an ultralight aircraft, an ultralight aircraft is an airplane that weighs less than 255 pounds with fuel. You don't need a pilot's license to fly an ultralight. Anybody if they want to risk their life, can climb. And I had ultralights, and I flew ultralights for years, and I loved the hell out of them. But you don't, and I had a pilot's license, which means I could fly them into airports, communicate with the, I could do all the real pilot-y things in them, but I loved them. You do not need a pilot's license to climb into a 250-pound aircraft and fly it over people's heads. The FAA still does not require a pilot's license for that. But you want to fly a drone that weighs over 250 grams. That's the weight. And you want to use it, or even if it's under 250 grams, which are these tiny little things that you could fly right into your head, you'd probably swat it away like a mosquito. You need a license. So you need to be licensed by our government to fly a drone that weighs 1/4 pound in certain situations, but you do not need a license to fly a 255-pound ultralight aircraft over a crowd of people. That shows you something is at work here. Somebody has an agenda, and the agenda is to clean the drones out of the sky to make way for Amazon drones and UPS drones and FedEx drones and medical delivery drones and food delivery companies and pizza delivery drones. We got to get those pesky hobbyists out of the way. Who's got the big lobbies in the government paying these politicians to make these rules? Agent 87 asks, can I fly my hobby drone? You can, as long as you abide by the FAA regulations in Part 107. And the answer in general is not like you used to anymore. Probably you won't get in trouble. But if you fly a drone, you need to have, it has to be within line of sight. You can't fly it out of your sight. And if you do fly it out of your sight, you have to have a spotter with his eye on it. You have a 400-foot maximum ceiling that you can fly. You cannot fly in any controlled airspace, and you can't fly it in furtherance of any business. If you make a YouTube video about your flight and your YouTube channel is monetized, you need to go get a Part 107 commercial drone operator's UAV license. That's how silly it is for some kid to fly his little tiny toy drone Christmas present. They've got a way to make that illegal. As of now, they don't have the manpower to enforce those things, but yes, it is silly. It's stupid. But there's a reason for it, and that reason is, as usual, money. Money. Now, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I don't think it's ever going to be practical for Amazon to deliver tube socks to you with a drone. But they've got this dream, and they've been working on this and testing this for years. For years. They've ruined the drone hobby for me and for so many other people. Peter Kruger, how you doing? Good to see you from South Africa. Always great to see you. Always great to see you. And David Kane asks, ever read The Endocrine Controlled Diet? Found that before I heard about Atkins. I've got it somewhere, part of my yo-yo history. Yes, and that's exactly what we do with our diet or with any low-carb diet. Endocrine control means to control your hormones, control insulin. That's what the endocrine system is. I've never read that book, but Atkins wasn't the first one that woke up in the middle of the night with a eureka moment and said, I know what a diet should be. And it's interesting, and if I'm going to have to look that up and see. That might be a great old book to try to find. Might be very interesting. If you find your copy of it, let me know. Let me know. That's great. Very interesting. Very interesting. And looking for questions now. I got 15 minutes. Well, I always go over time, so it's no big deal. Peter says, did I know that coffee is a health food? Do I know that for a fact? No. Do I have any reason to believe that there's anything really unhealthy about it? Well, I have suspicions, with some of the anti-coffee people out there who keep telling you how bad it is for you and how much it's going to kill you. I think the truth of the matter is there's not a single study that's lasted long enough, because it would have to be a lifetime study, to find out if virtually anything extends lifespan. How are you going to know until one of the participants dies? And even then, how are you sure that it's the coffee that killed him? Maybe it was something else. If he gets run over by a bus, are you going to say, see, I told you, coffee decreases your lifespan? And taking that even further down a rabbit hole, perhaps the caffeine in coffee would have made that pedestrian more alert, and he wouldn't have been run over by that bus. And in that instance, coffee would have prolonged his life. Can we publish a study that says that? What I'm trying to say here is there is no way definitively to know. And Bart Kay gives the best example. He says the only way to do any definitive study that gives you an absolute answer would be to find multiple pairs of identical twins at birth, take them into captivity, put them in a controlled setting for life, make sure they do everything in life absolutely identical, except the one thing that you're studying. And then see which one dies first. And the odds are maybe that it was that thing that you were studying that actually was the cause of a shorter lifespan. Now, that is an absurd study. It cannot be done. It is impossible. Even if it was done, the conclusions could not be guaranteed. Without that kind of a thing, we have only anecdotal evidence, correlations, but not absolute causation. So we shouldn't be running around spouting, red meat causes diabetes, or talking about what absolutely will extend your life. I've been hearing that shit all my life without any proof. Just conjecture. Just conjecture. Does the carnivore diet extend your life? I know it makes you healthier. Does being healthier extend your life? We still don't even know that for a fact. Maybe, maybe not. I think it does. Would make sense that it does. But we don't have studies. We don't have any studies. So they throw around these studies. They are mostly propaganda. Michael Pregler, why do plants make caffeine? Ever wonder why they made certain chemicals? Yeah, they make these chemicals as defense chemicals, and evidently, in the case of caffeine, I think the dose is the poison. You can eat small amounts of plants with their defense chemicals and not get an ill effect. You can eat almonds. You can eat raw almonds, which are loaded with cyanide. Just don't eat a half a pound of raw almonds because you might kill yourself. Well, I think the same is true about caffeine. Caffeine is a defense chemical. And this is a recent question I just caught going by, so I thought I'd answer it. Caffeine is a defense chemical. And if whatever animal is eating that plant eats enough of it, and they get a lot of caffeine, yes, it could kill them. Just like a human being drinking 50 cups of coffee would probably kill them too. But yes, all of these different chemicals that the plants make are defense chemicals to make people, all the anti-nutrients to keep you from absorbing the nutrients that you're actually eating will eventually lead to you starving to death or being so malnourished that you die. And the animals will learn what plants make them feel sick and avoid them. And that's the purpose of a defense chemical. And nobody thought it up. It just happened that way. That's called evolution. Evolution. Helen Hot Stuff says, question everyone. Day 25 for me and I have a cold. Usually I would medicate with over-the-counter syrup. Do I ride it out or any tips for getting through it would be great. Thank you. Well, that's a personal question. That's a personal question. It depends how miserable you are. I'm not anti-pharmaceuticals, as long as it's just not sugary syrup that you're taking. You might want to, I don't take anything. I don't take aspirin when something hurts. But if it hurts bad enough, I'll take oxycodone like I did with my kidney stones. I mean, I'm going to see what I can deal with and what I can't. But a decongestant, a nasal decongestant, maybe in a capsule, rather than with some sugary syrup, probably wouldn't hurt you if it makes you that much more comfortable and it's not addictive. So yeah, why not? I don't see anything wrong with that in rare occasions. In rare occasions. Your mom asked me a question. Do you think we'll see any changes with Make America Healthy Again, or what changes do you hope to see? That would be a really long answer. The short Cliff Notes answer is yes, we're going to see some changes initially. How effective are those changes going to do anything to unaddict 80 to 90% of Americans who are carb addicts and the target of the food industry? No, won't fix any of that. Will it get the red dye out of food? Yeah. Will they stop having to put certain chemicals in food that they put in there to addict you and to make the foods a better consistency or cheaper? Yeah, it might help a little bit. But that only applies to processed foods. So all the fixes that they're talking about now apply to processed foods, and they don't apply to us or basically anybody on keto or anybody that's eating whole foods, one ingredient foods, even the fruits and vegetables, unless they are worried about what they spray on them. And that's so funny to me, because these glyphosates, these things they spray on plants, the plants make those things. The pesticides, the plants make them. They're the defense chemicals. They keep the insects from biting the plants. What we spray on these plants is insignificant compared to what the plants manufacture to protect themselves. And here comes the rain. I don't know if you can hear it. So far, it's not really pouring. When it pours out here, I can't even hear myself talk. But that's a quick answer to that question. I think it's going to take time. I think there's too much money, too much corruption that has to be rooted out first. I think the best thing that we can do towards fixing so many of these problems is to focus on rooting out the corruption in our government, which has never been an easy thing or even possible to do. And with the corruption on the way out, will probably go so many of the influences that keep all of this crap going on, allowing the food companies and drug companies to keep making the stuff that's killing us. All right, I missed the plot over here. I went over to the let me show you here. I went over to this chat that's on the left-hand side of my monitor, and that chat is running real time, and I've been noticing questions. Bring back the 30-second introduction. I don't want to miss any of your knowledge. I do have the 30-second introduction. It comes at 30 seconds before. Thank you. I do the 30-second introduction and the 30-second outro now. But this is how I'm catching some of these later questions. This is the question up here where it says, do you think we'll see? The questions that I'm running sequentially, I am almost 40 minutes behind over here. When Cliff Medina said that question that I've had on the screen all this time. At any rate, let me get it back to me and my pretty face. So I'm going to go real quick. I got some of the later questions, and let me see. Lizzie has a question. Lizzie says, I'm concerned about vitamins. I don't feel like I need vitamins. I just worry that meat isn't giving me what I need as far as bone-wise, etc. Yes, meat is giving you everything you need. except maybe a few supplements that I keep saying are not present in the meat. I don't think one of them is calcium. I think that electrolytes, vitamin D is all I take. Some of your blood tests may show that if you are deficient in any of these other essential things, then maybe you might want to take them. You should be getting just about all the vitamins you need if you eat only meat and eat, decent meat and eat enough of it. So, Lizzie, I think a multivitamin pill is garbage these days anyway. Most of the stuff in there is in a form we can't use it or in quantities insignificant, just so they can print that huge label says it's got all this stuff in it. I don't think it's very beneficial at all. I think the whole vitamin industry, just like the supplement industry, is a scam. A scam, especially things that they hawk on YouTube like athletic greens and stuff like that. God, the fortunes that they make. I could be wrong, though. Remember, everything I say is only my opinion. That's my main disclaimer. It's my main disclaimer. So I'm going to run down here and look for questions that came in earlier. I'll just apologize that I really can't spend the time to read all of the prolific chat that you guys do. Hey, Peach Baron is here. How you doing? Good to see you listening and trucking. Hadn't seen you before today. Yes, Lorraine Borneo is here, and I'm only up to almost 9 o'clock in the chat. Steve Studley says, we love Ellen. Yes, we do. We all love Ellen. She must be extremely busy with something because if nothing else, even if she can't make it in here live, she usually chimes in. I'm going to send her a little text to make sure she's okay after we're done here. Let's see. We have people chiming in still. Kevin Decker, good morning from Richmond, Virginia. Good to see you. Good to see you. And Peter's answering questions as well. Good to see that Peter's being helpful. Dixie Scott, how you doing? Good morning. Good morning. Been listening, but gotta run. Okay, don't run into anything. Carla Simpson from San Francisco. How you doing, Carla? And I'm still looking. Here we go. Here's something. Adam XLG, ever have back surgery? If so, how did it go in terms of recurring problems or other problems? No, I've never had back surgery, my friend. Never had any. I have a bad back. I have a thing called an orthopod that I've shown in a number of my videos, and I use it to stretch my back out, and I've been able to manage it. I have 2 compressed discs in my back, but no surgery. I've had surgery presented to me as an option. I've always run like hell. Virtually everybody I've known, or most people I've known that have had back surgery, run around saying, if I knew what I know now, I never would have had this back surgery. It's a touchy thing. Now, my daughter-in-law had back surgery that worked out pretty good, and coincidentally, it was the same surgeon, the same neurosurgeon, that ended up doing my craniotomy. And guy named Griffiths. And he was a good doctor. And she's benefited greatly from that. So yes, I do know somebody that has had that and didn't have a problem with it. But I can't personally speak to back surgery. You want to know about subdural hematomas and having your skull cut open? I'm your guy. Ask me anything you want to know. I've been through it. I've been through it. Looking for questions. We are at 9:04 in the chat. I'm not even reading them now. I'm just looking for those big cues to pop out at me. Here's John Logan. Did I get this one? What happened to the 30-second introduction? It was good buffer. Yes, I did it. I did it this morning. It has the countdown with the coffee maker, and it was there. I know because I saw it. So I think maybe I've gotten up to the point Yes, here's the one I found from Helen Hot Stuff. Question, day 25 for me. You have a cold. I've answered that one already. And wow, this might just work out again here this morning. Let me take a look. I am at 9:10 in the chat. The chat is still running like crazy over here. Don't see any, yes, I don't see any QQQs jumping out at me in the recent chat, so I'll just keep scrolling down here. Lorraine Braca asks, a question without a QQQ, but I happen to see it. What is your preferred brand of coffee? Right now, I use my Keurig machine, so I'm drinking the K-Cups. I'm drinking the coffee that 1 cup at a time. And I've been using, right now I have the McCafe, the McDonald's K-Cups. I have both the caffeinated and decaffeinated. I like the flavor of it. I think they put a little bit of salt in there, just a little bit. A little bit of salt in black coffee makes it taste good. I was drinking, I usually buy the cheapest stuff that Sam's has got on an instant special or something like that. And I had been drinking the Donut Shop brand, but that's as close as I ever get to a donut. So is a Donut Shop brand coffee. But I like the decaf. I've always been using the McDonald's. They don't have very many brands of decaf, if any. They have the one, the McCafe decaf, and I've been drinking that. And I've always liked the flavor of that better than these other caffeinated ones I've been buying. So when they put on sale when they knocked 25% off the price of a box of the caffeinated McCafe, I bought 2 boxes of it. So I'm set for a little while with that. It's amazing how sales work and entice us to buy things. Karen White has a question. Hello from Canada. What was your experience with muscle cramps? Well, I had muscle cramps until I started having adequate electrolytes, then the muscle cramps went away. So I think muscle cramps are an absolutely great clue for us that we need to up our electrolytes. I don't ever get cramps during the day. I only get them at night. And I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'll have to get out of bed and walk around on it a little bit to make it go away. And then I know, well, hell, Mitch, better start paying attention to those electrolytes, because sometimes I ignore them a day or two at a time. And holy cow, we have 170 people. 170 people watching, 15 over in Rumble. Holy cow. Let me check. And I don't see anybody. Nobody's actually chatting in Rumble. Most of you are over here as well. But yeah, that's a good question about cramps, and something that happens to a lot of us. And it happens because the food we're eating is deficient in electrolytes because of the shape our soil's in. And if we say, well, what does that matter? We don't eat vegetables that grow in the soil. We eat meat. Well, the meat eats the vegetables that grow in the soil, and it comes up the food chain. Just like mercury comes up the food chain in fish. The little fish eat a little mercury. The bigger fish eat a lot of little fish and inherit all that mercury until the huge tuna comes along and eats all the fish that ate all the littler fish and inherits the mother load of mercury, and that's why huge fish have a lot of mercury. Well, same thing is true with electrolytes. If the soil does not have any potassium, sodium, magnesium in it, it doesn't get into the grass. So when the cows eat the grass, they don't get those elements, and the meat is deficient. So we need to supplement it. Makes a lot of sense, I think. Makes a lot of sense. And there's the question where Agent 87 asked if he could fly his hobby drone. My answer is, fly it. Don't fly it around a lot of people. Don't fly it where you're going to get all these Karens. Apology to any of you named Karen, but that has become a term that we apply to a woman that complains about everything. They will call the police on you. Okay, I'm looking for questions. I am up to 9:16, 20 minutes behind. We're getting there. We're getting there. And QQQs. Here's the one that, why do plants make caffeine? I answered that. So I think, and here's Helen Hot Stuff's question about day 25, having a cold, wanting to know if she can take medication. So I think I've found that. Here's the one that, from your mom, saying, do I think the MAHA movement will make any difference? And I have a lot of opinions on that. We'll be talking about that as this stuff unfolds, for sure. For sure, that's going to be definitely an ongoing topic for years to come. I haven't said hi to DS111 yet. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. And Lat, haven't said hi to you. Good morning, Lat. Welcome. Even though we're over time. John Logan asked about the introduction. I think you all saw the introduction. Retired Rick, how you doing, Rick? All the latecomers are here. Wow, what a crowd. Like Rodney Danger used to say. What a crowd, what a crowd, what a crowd. My favorite Rodney Dangerfield saying is, I was in rough shape yesterday, but I'm okay now. I loved him. I thought he was one of the funniest guys. Rhonda, Free Texanet, how you doing this morning? Always good to see you. And I'm screaming through the chat here. I'm up to 9:24. Question, do you ever eat sardines from Lat? Yes, I do. About once a month, I make an omelet and throw a can of sardines in it. And the way I eat it is when I beat the eggs, I usually throw the sardines in there and just chop the hell out of them while I'm beating up the eggs and just make the omelet and get the sardines. I don't eat a lot of sardines. The last thing in the world I would ever do is go on a 30-day sardine fast. I don't know where these people come up with this crap that they keep trying to sell to you. Maybe a great way to get YouTube clicks. Just eat your food. Stop going on challenges and fasts and all these different things that interrupt the normal pattern of eating the normal food you should eat on every normal day. Just settle into a routine. Eat the foods you like. It's worked for me. That's the only endorsement I can give that. If you really love sardines, if you look forward to sardines make you happy, eat more sardines then. Follow your own body's clues and eat what you want, not what somebody tells you have to. That's why I don't eat any organ meat. I don't like it. I don't like the thought of it. And I don't need it. I'm not going to go out of my way to eat liver. Sorry. And since Anthony Chafee and it seems Sean Baker both share that MO with me, I feel like I'm in good company with that advice. Okay, but everybody's saying in here, a lot of people are saying, well, I like sardines. Well, eat them. Follow your heart, my friends. Follow your heart. DS111 over here says, my Dangerfield influence in my humor is something I think I came up with. I only eat meat and eggs. That's why I look like this. I have no carnivore converts. It's funny, man. You got a great sense of humor. If you liked Rodney Dangerfield as I do, I understand why. Lorraine Borneo says, question, what is your email address? It's very simple and easy to remember. First of all, it's in every video in the description. It's on my website. It is oldguycarnivore@gmail.com. All one word, OldGuyCarnivore. Doesn't need caps, just spell it out. OldGuyCarnivore@gmail.com. Okay, Peter's talking to somebody with 600. Peter, I'm just going to caution you, my friend. Do not ever address anybody's numbers for any reason. That can be construed as medical advice. That can have my channel deleted if somebody complains about the fact that you're giving medical advice on my channel. I can't risk that, Peter. Do not. You never hear me responding to those things. Do not ever, please. I love you, guy. But do not ever put my channel and all my work in jeopardy by acting like a doctor. And you may be absolutely right, okay? You may be absolutely right. We can't do that. I can't do that. And I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't do it either. And I hate to have to do this, but I have to say that. Another question here from DS111. There was a heavy discussion about deuterium last night on Dr. Chafee's channel, which was too much for me. Can you shed a little light on that? No. I don't care about deuterium. I don't study it. I don't even want to know about it. Like you. I understand that these guys all talk about it, but that would absolutely, if I have to start focusing on deuterium, then I'm micromanaging again. I don't micromanage. I try to keep my life real simple. If something really earth-shattering comes out about deuterium, I'll pay attention to it. There are 500,000 other compounds I don't pay attention to either. That's not my job to pay attention to that. Whatever deuterium exists in nature, if I need it, I'm getting it. If I'm not getting it, I'd have symptoms of deuterium deficiency, which would be a thing. I might be way off base or way wrong about that. I might be missing something important, but I don't care. I don't want to complicate anything. And then, thank you. DS111 says, good, I don't want to complicate things either. Yes. And I'm not saying Chafee's wrong. He's probably right about it. But I don't want to, there's only so much to know. And I keep working so hard to make this as simple as it can be. As simple as it can be, because that's the only way people are going to stick to it. When people start way over complicating this stuff, it becomes too much to keep track of, too much micromanagement, too many trips to the supplement aisle. It becomes a full-time job. It should be something you don't even have to give any conscious thought to. Whatever, eat when you're hungry. You know, after a short period of time, you'll figure out the foods that you like the most, and you'll just eat those. Here's a question from Fran Mariah. Question, does Wagyu come from China? Kind of confused. Wagyu is a term they use right now to refer to a cow that's been pampered and fed a very high-grain diet to make them very fat. The original Wagyu, I believe, came from Japan. I think that was a Japanese thing. But now the term is way overused, even applying to certain hamburger at Sam's Club. Like anything else. We latch on to these things. They become marketing terms. Don't pay any attention to it. If you were to ever happen across real Japanese Wagyu beef, if you were to ever find that, it would be so expensive you'd run the other way anyway. So I ignore the term Wagyu. It's like the term organic, grass-fed, free-range, pasture-raised. All that shit is almost meaningless anymore. Just find foods that you like. Try to buy the best you can. Believe nothing you read on the label, except maybe the ingredients, the nutritional label, and even in there they hide shit and have certain tricks to make that appear to be something other than what's really in the food. Pay attention to serving size and carbohydrates, and you'll probably be okay. What a cynic I am. What a cynic I am, aren't I? For good reason. Just look around. Look around. We're being punked every day by everybody. Anthony Sharp says, questions. Anyone recall of the, is that lecturer about the food industry T-shell or something like that? I am trying to complete a watch list for my patients. You're probably talking about Nina Teicholz. Nina Teicholz. T-E-I-S-C-H-O-L, either T-Z or Z. Nina Teicholz, a brilliant investigative journalist in the medical community. I would recommend any of her stuff to anybody in any diet, anywhere, anytime. She's one of my favorite sources. You might also look at Gary Taubes, T-A-U-B-S, Gary Taubes. The two of them, Nina Teicholz and Gary Taubes, have uncovered more fraud, corruption, bullshit in the reporting, in studies and everything else than just about anybody. So yes, Nina Teicholz and Gary Taube. Hope that helps you. Hope that helps you and answers that question. You couldn't find any better sources of truth. They have uncovered the whole Seventh-day Adventist beginnings, the beginnings of the breakfast cereal with John Kellogg. Ansel Keys, God, what they haven't uncovered about the fraud that guy was. Fabulous stuff. Anytime you see their stuff, I don't care if you're busy, stop and watch it. And it's easy to find. Just do a YouTube search. Just type Nina Teicholz in the search bar. You will get her stuff. You will get stuff where she's been a guest on other people's channels and got interviewed. Great stuff. Great stuff. Great question, too. Great question, because that's important stuff right there. And here's a question from Fran Mariah. Why not just drink volcanic water for electrolytes instead of buying powder? Well, it's an interesting question. I myself have not seen volcanic water at Sam's Club. I've seen mineral water. But I don't know exactly what's in it. And there's probably a lot of stuff in it I don't need or want. But yeah, you can drink mineral water. Let me tell you the best thing to do, believe it or not. The best thing to do, which is what our ancestors did, and they got all the minerals they needed, was they drank water out of ponds and puddles. I don't think you're going to find most of us kneeling down in front of a puddle on your driveway and slurping it up like a dog would, but I think you're going to get everything you need in the food. And take the electrolytes. I think it would be very hard to even believe the label on a bottle of water that was labeled volcanic water. It's like salt. Same thing with salt. When you use salts, the right salts like we use, the Redmond's real salt, the Himalayan pink salt, these salts don't just give you sodium. They don't just give you salt. They give you mineral salts. They give you the potassium salts, magnesium salts, all the other calcium salts, all the other mineral salts, because these things are mined from what they find are ancient seabeds that they dug up, which means that these seabeds, before they dug them up, were shielded from eons of pollution and are pristine in most cases. So check when you buy a brand of salt. And the ones that I have on my website, on my Amazon links, I have checked out, and they are what I think are the cleanest types of salt. And I use a lot of that Himalayan pink salt and Redmond's real salt. And those things give me a lot of trace minerals that I may not be getting elsewhere. And don't hesitate to salt things and use salt for taste. There's a lot of benefits. Even the San Pellegrino that I drink, It has a lot of minerals in it and a slightly salty taste. There may be something in there that's helping me. I don't drink a ton of that stuff. Free Texanate says she bought me a coffee. Did I get it? I think I heard some. Yes, some people are buying me coffees. Thanks for bringing that up. I wanna thank you. I want to thank everybody else. So let me make sure that I don't miss anybody. And that is, yes, Rhonda. Rhonda, thank you so much. I already thanked Agent 87. Rhonda, I appreciate you and this group of like-minded people. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rhonda. And we appreciate you too, believe me. And Marcia. Marcia bought me a coffee here and it says, have a great day, Mitch. Thank you. I'm already having a great day. This is now the longest running morning live stream I have done. It's 10 minutes to 10 or 9 minutes to 10 and we're still going. And I'm still going looking at these questions and I still got 160 people here. And as long as I've got people watching, we'll keep going. At least when it gets to 10 o'clock, I'm going to say, okay, enough guys, go away. Go away. You go home now. Here we go. Lorraine Bracco, have you considered an Old Guy branded coffee pod product? No. No, there wouldn't be anywhere. You would need a demand in the hundreds of thousands of units to even make that feasible. It would cost so many thousands of dollars to engineer it and put it together and get whatever approvals you need from the FDA and other companies that might regulate that stuff. No, it's an impossible thing. And horrors to think what would happen if the coffee turned out to be lousy coffee after all of that. But it's a good idea. It would be fun. The best I can do is t-shirts and coffee cups, my friends, and they're just novelty items. I don't do it to make any money. I don't make any money on those things. I do it because I just enjoy having a coffee cup with my show name on it. And I'm up to 9:35 in the chat. God, I can't believe it. I'm up to 9:35 and I'm still 15 minutes behind. So I'm just going to run through this real quick so we can call this a day. Question, Mitch, do you still make your own electrolytes? Yes, I do. I do. I still do. And I mix them up every morning or so when I remember. But yes. It's so cheap to do it that way. And from what I hear, everybody that's used them have said they're working great for them, and it's not a wild and woolly recipe that I use. It's pretty common one, and it makes sense, and it's got I think adequate potassium, unlike the LMNT stuff. But they think that they're for some reason their formula is the best formula, but it has very, very small amount of potassium. As far as I'm concerned, we need 4,000 milligrams a day, according to those that are supposedly experts. Here's a question. Rebecca, why did you start the carnivore diet? Rebecca, I have 500 videos on my channel that answer that very question. It's too long a story to do right now, but if you ask that again at the beginning of one of these live streams, I'll go into it. And I'll tell the story again. But that story takes 10, 15 minutes to tell, even in its briefest form. Not only are you asking for the story of carnivore, but you're asking for 50 or 60 years of dieting history and when and how I learned what I learned that led me to be a carnivore. David Kane says, I hope I didn't come across any lines by suggesting someone research something. Yeah. No, you can never be wrong suggesting people research things. You know that. You know that. I think you were trying to be sarcastic there. I can spot sarcasm. And Mark Whistler says, hi, yep. And Mark, how you doing? Glad to see you're here. I still don't see that package. I have the tracking number and I'm keeping an eye on it and I can't wait to get it. And you'll see about those coffee cups you sent me here on my show as soon as I get them. As soon as I get them. Oh, okay, here we go. DS-111, it was Chafee's guest who was talking about it. Chafee was listening. That makes more sense. That makes more sense. I didn't think it was something that Chafee would bring up on his own because he is a keep it simple kind of guy, which is one of the reasons I admire him so much. He's the guy that's got us, most of us, off plants with his plants are trying to kill you, college professor. Friend Mariah validates my theory that we're being punked by everyone. Yes. And I'm screaming through it looking for the last of the questions. Stop asking questions. Stop asking questions. Please. Oh, the sun is coming out and it's getting warm out here. I need to open up some windows. How about that? Here's a question. This is the last one I saw. Is there really a difference with Redmond salt versus any Himalayan? Yeah, there's always a difference. It depends on where you mine the salt. There's always going to be a little difference. Which one is better? Who knows? Is Redmond's real salt just all hype? I don't know. I know it's salty and it tastes good, and I know that I probably will get something I need from both of those, and that's as far as I want to dig into it. I don't want to have to build an entire laboratory out here on my screen porch along with this elaborate studio that I've built to investigate things like that. So, my friends, it is almost 10 o'clock, and that was the last question. And to the 142 people that are still here, thanks for hanging in there, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for hanging in there. I appreciate it. And I'm going to call it a morning. I'm going to call it Monday morning. That's what I'm going to call it. And I'm going to bring in a little happy music. There we are. And I'm going to give you a couple minutes to say goodbye to everybody in the chat while I relight this cigar, which I hardly touched, and finish. I still have a little bit of hot coffee left. What a great morning. What a great morning. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Saying goodbye in the chat. We have I'm just trying to work out Lat, Your Mom, David Kane, Tom, Viking 442, Rick, Charger Mopar DS111, Retired Rick, Keith, Citizen. Hi, Keith, I never saw that name before. Glad you made it. Your Mama's saying goodbye. Tammy Patarchis saying goodbye. Great to see you. Mama Bear chimed in with a last bit of advice. For your information, it sounds like deuterium happens on a carnivore diet and is a good thing. Okay, even better. Even better. A great reason to become a carnivore. So, my friends, as the music ends, I will, of course, grant you the rest of the day off and advise you to eat meat